Hey everyone, Varun here from Language Academy. Hope you all are doing well. In this video, I'll be covering the second task from your writing module. I'll be covering that how you have to write an essay, particularly in PTE. So just a quick look of what all I'll be going through in this video is that I'll cover the description of the task, that what are all the requirements of writing an essay in PTE, how you have to write your essays, and then we'll have a look at the marking criteria of this task, that is how you are awarded points and how many points are contributed by writing an essay in your overall score. Then we'll move on to few of the different type of essays you may get in your exam, and then finally we'll have a step-by-step look at how you can very easily write your essays within 20 minutes. So make sure you watch this video till the very end to get the most out of it, and I'll make sure that by the end of this video, writing an essay becomes very easy for you. So without any further delays, let's get started. So looking at the description of the task, what all is included in this task is that you will be given a topic, a essay topic, on which you will have to write an essay. Your essay should be between 200 to 300 words, anywhere between 200 to 300 words. You will be given 20 minutes to write one essay, and you may get around 1 to 2 essays in your exam. And one essay is equal to 15 points in your PTE writing. So from one essay you will be awarded 15 points in your writing section. So this is how your screen will look like. So that was our description of the task. Now let's have a look at the marking criteria of this task, that how do you get full 15 points in writing an essay, right? So altogether one essay is equal to 15 points, as you can see on your screens as well, and there are different parameters on which you are awarded points. The first one is content. You get 3 points in content in writing an essay, right? Now what does content in PTE means? Content in PTE means that you answer the prompt accurately and you mention all the aspects of the question in your response, right? So you have to make sure whatever has been asked to you in the question, you answer each and everything properly. Let's say for example, sometimes what happens is you may get 2 or 3 different questions within a single essay topic, right? So in that case you have to make sure that you answer each and every question given in your essay topic. For example, you may sometimes get an essay asking you for let's say something like mention the advantages and disadvantages of computers, right? So if they are asking you advantages and disadvantages, you have to make sure that you mention both advantages and disadvantages. If you answer the question or prompt accurately, you will straight away get 3 points in your content, right? But let's say if you only mention the advantages or disadvantages, just one thing in your answer, you won't get 3 points in your content, right? You may end up getting 1 or 2 points in your content section. So in order to get full 3 points in your content, you have to make sure that you answer the prompt or the topic very accurately, you present all the ideas and you answer all the different aspects of the question that has been asked to you, and that is how you will get 3 points in your content, right? This will become more clear once we have a look at how you have to write your essays. Now the next parameter on which you are awarded points is your form. Form is very straightforward. What does form in PTE, in particularly in writing an essay, means that you get 2 points out of form. To get 2 points out of form, it's very simple and straightforward, that your answer or the length of your essay should be between 200 to 300 words, right? If you write your essay, doesn't matter if it's a very good essay or there are a lot of spelling errors or grammar errors, if you write between 200 to 300 words, you will straight away get 2 points in form, right? If you write less than 200 words and more than 300 words, you will get 1 point. If you write less than 120 words or more than 380 words, you will straight away get 0 in your form. And if you get 0 in your form, your answer won't be checked. You will straight away get 0 in whole of your essay. So at any cost, make sure you write your essay between 200 to 300 words, right? So even if you are running short of time, make sure in any case at least write 200 words, right? And that is how you will get 2 points in your form, that is your answer or length of your essay should be between 200 to 300 words, right? Now the next parameter on which you are awarded points is your grammar. You get 2 points for grammar in your writing an essay. Now how do you get full 2 points in your grammar? It's also pretty simple and straightforward. If there are no grammar errors or your grammar errors are very rare and they are very difficult to locate, you will get 2 points. But if you have got few grammar errors like 1 or 2, you may get 1 out of 2 in your grammar. But if you have a lot of grammar errors, like you have around 3, 4, 5 grammar major grammar errors, you will straight away get 0 out of 2 in your grammar, right? So make sure you use your grammar very properly and efficiently, and you get full points in your grammar. That is how your grammar is marked in writing an essay. So next parameter on which you are awarded points in writing your essay are your spellings. You get 2 points in spellings. Now how do you get 2 points in spellings is also pretty simple and straightforward. If your essay is error free, that is there are no spelling errors at all, you will straight away get 2 points. If there are few like 1 or 2 spelling errors or typing errors, you will get 1 point out of 2 in your spellings. But if there are more than 2 typing errors or major spelling mistakes, you will get 0 out of 2 in your spellings. So at any cost, make sure you don't make any spelling errors. How you can avoid your spelling errors? Never ever try to use words or high academic words which you want to use in order to increase your vocabulary. What happens a lot of times is students, they do try to increase their vocabulary, make their essay look very beautiful. They try to use a lot of high academic words, but they are not sure about the spellings. As a result, they not only lose points in the spellings, but they don't even get any points in vocabulary, right? So unless and until you are not 110% sure about a particular spelling, don't write it. Use easier words instead of that. That's fine, but it's not fine to lose points in your spellings because of your vocabulary, right? So make sure unless and until you are not 100% sure about a particular spelling, try to avoid it and use a simple word instead, and so that you can get 2 points in your spellings, right? Now the next parameter on which you are awarded points in your essay is your vocabulary, right? You get 2 points out of your vocabulary. Now how to get full 2 points in vocabulary? In order to get full 2 points in vocabulary, what I'll recommend you to do is first of all use all academic words. Never ever try to use any slang language or any short forms. This is your academic exam and you have to make sure that you only use academic words, right? Another thing what you can do in order to increase your vocabulary is that avoid repetition of words. Don't ever try to repeat any kind of words. Use synonyms wherever possible. Try to replace the words, try to avoid repetition of words, and try to replace words with some other word meaning the same. What else you can do to improve your vocabulary is that never ever try to write any kind of short forms or abbreviations or any slang language, right? So only academic words. Use synonyms wherever possible. No short forms, no contractions, and no slang language. And that is how you can get lot of points in your vocabulary, right? Now the next parameter on which you are awarded points in your essay is that you get 2 points for development, structure, and coherence, right? Now what does this means is that your essay should be in a logical structure. It's not like you are first providing an introduction, then a body, then conclusion, then again your body, and then conclusion, right? You have to follow a particular structure. What structure you have to follow is that you have to make sure first of all you have to provide an introduction, then you have to provide the body of your essay whereby you will discuss the main ideas, whatever you want to mention in the essay, and finally you will come up to a conclusion, right? And you also have to make sure that your ideas within an essay are interlinked. You have to show the connections between your ideas. Now how do you show the connection between your ideas within your essay? This will become more clear once we look at the step-by-step writing of an essay, and over there you will come to know that how you can connect very easily, how you can connect the ideas within your essays, right? Basically you will have to use your transition words. That is, whenever you move from your one paragraph to another, you will have to use transition words. We'll discuss this when we have a look at the writing of an essay. For now, let's have a look at another parameter and the last parameter on which you are awarded points. So this is your general linguistic range. You get 2 points for your linguistic range. Now what does linguistic range means? That whatever you write, that you don't really have any hindrance in conveying your ideas, right? Your English or whatever essay you have written is very clear and it is very straightforward. In other words, that the computer doesn't really have any problem understanding you, right? Understanding whatever you have written. So make sure in order to get full 2 points in your linguistic range, your essay or whatever response you are giving is very clear and easier for the computer to understand you. There shouldn't be any kind of hindrance, or you shouldn't include anything which is very hard for the computer or the other person to understand, and that is how you will get your 2 points for linguistic range. That is, whatever you want to express, it's very clear and easier for the computer to understand, right? And that was our marking criteria. You get 15 points altogether and you are awarded points based on these sections. As you can see on your screens as well, there are around 7 different traits on which you are awarded points in your writing an essay, right? So 15 points for one essay and you'll get around 1 to 2 essays in your exam, right? So that was our marking criteria. I hope you guys now have a bit of idea that what this task includes and how you are marked in this particular task, right? So now let's have a look at the different type of essays you may get in your exam, right? Altogether there are 5 different type of essays you may get in your exams. We'll quickly have a look at the different type of essays. So the first one is your discussion essays. So what does a discussion essay means? Whenever you have been asked to discuss a particular topic, right? Let's say for example, in most of the discussion essays, you will find the word discuss, right? For example, a very easy example, whenever you have been given a task or question like this, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of computer, right? And that will be your discussion essay. The second one is your argumentative essay. Whenever you have been asked to take one side and argue about that, this is most probably the case whenever you get agree or disagree in your essays, right? So whenever you have been asked to agree or disagree about a particular thing, that will be your argumentative essay, right? The third one is opinion essay. Opinion essay means when the examiner wants to know your opinion, or when they have studied this thing in your essay topic, that what do you think or what according to you is right. Whenever the question or task is directed towards you, that is your opinion essay, right? The fourth one is problem and solution essay. Very common essay and one of the essay, you know, a lot of students are not familiar with. In this type of essays, what happens is you will be given a problem and you will have to find a solution, some solutions to the given problem, right? So let's say for example, you may be given an essay on the topic of air pollution. They'll tell you the problem of air pollution is increasing day by day, mention some solutions to it, right? So this is your problem and solution essay. In this case, you will have to explain the problem, that what is the problem of air pollution, and then you will have to provide the solutions for the same, right? So in this case, you will have to talk a bit about the problem of air pollution, and then you will have to provide few solutions of the same, right? And that is how your problem and solution essays are. And the final one is cause and effect essays. So in this type of essay, what you will be given is, you will be given a particular problem and they'll ask you the causes of the problem and the effects of the problem, right? So this is how your cause and effect essay are. They are pretty similar to problem and solutions, but in problem and solution essay, you have to find the solution, and over here in cause and effect essays, you have to find the effects of the problem, right? So these were few of the different essays you may get in your exams. Your discussion essays, wherever you find the word discuss. Argumentative essay, wherever you find the word agree or disagree. Opinion essays, whenever the question is directed towards you. Problem and solution essays, wherever you have been given a problem and you have to find the solution for the same. And finally, cause and effect essay, where you have to find the causes of a problem and the effects of the problem, right? And that were few of the essays you can get in your exam. Now before we have a step-by-step look at that how you have to write your complete essay, let's have a look at few of the doubts which a lot of students do have, right? So the first one is, a lot of students, they are not sure that do they need to explain both the sides whenever they have been given an essay topic, or they just need to write one side or explain one side, right? What I'll recommend you is that in each and every case, always explain both the sides, right? Now why I'm telling you to explain both the sides is that whenever you write two sides of a same argument, the first thing, it becomes very easier for you to inculcate a lot of ideas, right? Getting more ideas of the same side, it becomes a bit difficult sometimes. So whenever you are answering both the sides, it is a bit easier to bring in ideas of both the sides, right? Another reason why I'm telling you to explain both the sides of an essay is that whenever you explain both the sides and then you come up to a conclusion, it looks like that you have critically analyzed both the sides and then you have came up to a conclusion, right? Let's say if the question or the task was like this, that there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages of computers, what do you think, right? So you have to come up to a conclusion that are the advantages more or are the disadvantages more, right? If you will just mention advantages and advantages in your body paragraph, and then in your conclusion as well you will say that the advantages are more, it will not look like that you have critically analyzed both the sides and then you came up to a conclusion, right? So if you mention advantages and then disadvantages and then you write down a conclusion, it looks like, and it is, you know, even easier to understand that why you came up to this particular conclusion, right? So whenever you mention both the sides and explain both the sides, it looks like that you have critically analyzed both the sides and then you came up to a conclusion. The first reason why I'm telling you to write both the sides is that it becomes easier, it's easier to get ideas, a lot of ideas for two different sides, and then it also looks like that you have analyzed both the sides of an essay or an argument, and then you came up to a conclusion, right? So you can write one side as well in some of the essays, but I'll recommend you that in each and every essay, doesn't matter what type of essay it is, always mention two sides and then come up to a conclusion, right? So make sure whatever essay you get, try to write both the sides and then come up to a conclusion, right? Now the next doubt which a lot of students do have is that how many paragraphs do I need to write? Some of them, they think that they need to write 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, or some even think that they need to write 5 paragraphs. What I'll recommend you is, and what I also did in my exam and what a lot of my students did in their exam and they got 90 in writing, is that only write 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph will be the introduction, the basic introduction of your essay. Then you'll have your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then finally your conclusion, right? So an introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then finally your conclusion. And that is how you can very easily, structure your essay, and you can get a lot of points in your essay. This will become more clear that how I use 4 paragraphs to write a complete essay once we have a look at step-by-step guide that how you have to write an essay, right? And the last doubt, a very common doubt which a lot of students do have, is that if they write more or if they write more words in their essay, will they get higher score? It's not like that. You can write anywhere between 200 to 300 words, right? What I'll say about this doubt is that don't worry about the quantity of your essay, but rather than that, you have to focus on the quality of your essay. If you can write a very good essay within 220 words, you can inculcate and you can inculcate a lot of your ideas, and you can answer all the different aspects of your topic. Then 220 words are also fine, right? But if you are writing 290 words but you are not even answering the question properly, that's of no use. So rather than your quantity, focus more on your quality. And if you want to know the word limit, what I'll suggest is go anywhere between 230 to 270 words at most, and that will be more than enough. Don't worry about writing exact 300 words or 290 words. If you write 230 to 270 words, focusing on that, you're answering each and everything from the given task or given topic, that will be more than enough. Don't worry about writing a lot, but first make sure that you are answering the question properly, then focus on your word limit. But in any case, you have to make sure that you write more than 200 words but less than 300 words, right? And that is how you can get very good points in your essays as well. Now let's move on to a step-by-step guide that how you have to structure your essay and how you have to write your complete essay. Now before we begin to write our essay, one of the things we need to keep in our mind is that you will be given 20 minutes to write one essay, right? You have to manage your time very efficiently, because sometimes it becomes very difficult to write around 250 words within 20 minutes, right? So how you have to manage your time? Within first 2 to 3 minutes, at most 3 minutes, you have to read the prompt, read the essay topic, and get few ideas, get some ideas that what you have to include, what all you have to write in your essay, right? In next 14 to 15 minutes, or sometimes even you can take around 16 minutes to write your essay. At most 16 minutes to write your essay, right? So you'll have to read the question for around 2 to 3 minutes, and then for the next around 15 minutes you have to write your essay, right? In the end, for 1 to 2 minutes you have to proofread your essay, you have to revise your essay so that you can make sure that your essay is error free, there are no type of grammar or spelling errors. It's very important, very necessary to make sure your essay is error free and you get full points in your spelling and grammar, right? So make sure first 2 minutes you have to read your essay, and then for next 15 minutes you have to write your essay, and at the end for around 1 to 2 minutes you have to proofread your essay. And that is how you will be easily able to write each and every essay you will get in 20 minutes, right? So now let's have a look at step-by-step guide that how you have to write your essays. So the very first thing over here, what I have got for today is I've got a very simple topic, that is the use of social media in the present world is increasing and our life is becoming completely dependent on that. There are a lot of merits and demerits of social media discussed, right? So basically it's a discussion essay whereby we will discuss both the sides of an essay and then we'll come up to a conclusion, right? So it doesn't matter what the case is, in each and every essay, whatever essay you get, you have to first provide an introduction, right? Your introduction will talk something general about the topic, general about the main topic of the essay, such as over here we have got social media, right? Your introduction in this essay will talk about social media, general things about social media, and your introduction in each and every essay will have around 50 to 60 words, and this will be around 3 to 4 sentences. So your introduction will be general, something general about the main topic, 3 to 4 sentences, and at most 50 to 60 words, right? So let's have a look at that how you have to write your introduction. In your first sentence, as you can see on your screens as well, you will write something general about the topic, right? As we had a topic, our topic was social media, so I'll write something general about social media, right? Let's see what I have got over here is that the first sentence what I have got in my introduction is that social media in the present world has become an integral part of our daily life, right? So very simple thing, very common thing, very basic thing about social media, right? Now the next sentence also, if you have some ideas, you can write one more sentence journal about the topic, right? So you can just say it plays a tremendous role in bringing the world together with just a few clicks of the button, right? So first two sentences are very journal about the main topic. For example, let's say if you get an essay about laws and crimes, the first two sentences of your introduction will talk something general about laws and crime, right? So over here as well we had social media as a main topic, and for the first two sentences we talked about social media, something general about social media, that it is a very integral part of our life and it plays a very major role in bringing the world together, right? Now for your next sentence, third sentence in your introduction, what you will do is you will paraphrase the prompt or you will paraphrase the question whatever has been asked to you, right? So over here I have got, however, it is irrefutable to say that misuse of social media can result in a lot of inauspicious consequences, right? So basically I am paraphrasing the prompt. I have just written that we cannot deny the fact that social media can result in a lot of problems, right? So this is how you will write your first three sentences. First two sentences general about the topic, and the next sentence you have to paraphrase the prompt, right? Now the fourth sentence and the last sentence of your introduction, right? What you have to do in each and every essay, doesn't matter what essay you get, in the last sentence of your introduction you have to clearly mention that what all will be included in the essay, right? So over here you'll just say this essay will discuss the merits and demerits of social media and will therefore reach a logical conclusion. So you are basically telling what all will be included in this essay, right? Make sure, doesn't matter what essay you get, last line of each and every introduction will be same, that what all will be covered in this essay. If you want, you can use the same sentence, same line as it is in your essays as well, right? So that was our introduction, 4 sentences altogether. First two sentences journal about the topic, about the main topic, that was social media over here. Third sentence includes paraphrasing the prompt, paraphrasing the question, writing it in some other words. And the fourth sentence, very easy, you can use it in each and every essay. What you have to do over here is that you have to just tell that what all will be included in this essay, right? You just write this essay will include or discuss the merits and demerits of social media, and then we'll come up to a conclusion, right? So that is how you'll write your introduction. I have just written 4 sentences and I've already got 70 words, right? So if you also write your introduction in the same way, you will easily write 60 to 70 words in your introduction, and that will make it very easier for you to write your essay more than 200 words. So 4 sentences altogether in your introduction, and that will go somewhere around 50 to 70 words. At most 4 sentences, and that will do the job for you. And once you finish your introduction, you will come up to your body paragraph, right? Now let's have a look at how you have to write your body paragraphs. So now coming on to a body paragraph, what does a body paragraph involves? It includes the main explanation of the argument of your prompt, right? So you have to explain whatever has been asked to you in the essay topic. Over here we have been asked to discuss the merits and demerits of social media, right? So over here we'll write the merits or demerits, whatever side we want to take, we'll explain that side in a body paragraph 1. So one important point to note over here is that you will make 2 body paragraphs, body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, right? And in your body paragraph 1, always, in each and every case, you will always explain the side which you favor. Means whatever side you are gonna take in your conclusion, you have to explain that side in your body paragraph 1. The other side you will explain in your body paragraph 2, and finally you will come up to a conclusion. Now what do I mean by this is that, for example, in this essay as well, I know that in my conclusion I'll say that the merits of social media are more than demerits, right? So I'm taking the advantages side. I'm telling that the advantages are more than disadvantages. So in my body paragraph 1, I'll explain the advantages of social media, right? So in each and every case, doesn't matter what the topic of the essay is, whatever side you are favoring, try to write that side in your body paragraph 1, the other side in body paragraph 2, and then finally your conclusion, right? So over here in this essay I am favoring that the advantages are more than disadvantages. So in my body paragraph 1, I'll explain the advantages of social media, right? So again, body paragraph 1 will also include around 4 to 5 sentences, and you will only need around 1 to 2 ideas to write your body paragraph 1. This will go on for around 70 to 80 words, right? Again, one very important point, as you know that you get points based on your structure, right? So whenever you move from your introduction to your body paragraph 1, you have to show the link between your ideas. You have to show that the introduction is associated or linked with your body paragraph 1. How do you show the link? How do you tell the computer that your ideas or your paragraphs are linked? You have to use transition words. What are transition words? Transition words are words which we use when we move on from one sentence to another, or whenever we want to show the link between two different ideas, right? You have a list of complete transition words which you can use to start your body paragraph 1, right? So these are few of the words you can use to start your body paragraph 1. You can just say to commence with, or to start with, or you can say at the outset, or you can say in its inception, or you can say to begin with, and so on, right? So you can use any of the word to start your body paragraph 1, but make sure you always use a transition word to start a new paragraph, so that you can actually show the link between your different paragraphs and different sentences, right? So again, coming back to body paragraph 1, you will include around 4 to 5 sentences. Now what you have to write in body paragraph 1? For the first sentence, as you can see on your screens as well, you will write an introductory sentence. So what does an introductory sentence means? That you will write one sentence that will tell the computer or tell the reader that what all you will be including in this paragraph. So basically you will just write, to commence with, social media provides a lot of advantages to its users. So you are just writing whatever you are going to include in this paragraph. So just say, to commence with, social media provides a lot of advantages to its users, right? Again, once you are done with your introductory sentence, you will provide first idea or first advantage. Now how you have to write your advantage, as I have written over here, is that it has shortened the distance and can be used very conveniently to connect with anyone in the world with a few clicks of a button, right? So basically what I am saying over here is that social media has made our life very convenient and easier to connect with each and everyone, doesn't matter where they are sitting, right? So this was our one advantage. Now in the next sentence, in the third sentence, what you have to do is you have to explain the advantage, right? So what you have to do is, as you have given one advantage, now how you will increase your word limit, how you will write your essay up to 200 words very easily. What you will do is you will write one more sentence explaining the same advantage. So over here, as I said, that it has made our life very convenient and it has shortened the distance between two people around the world. Now I'll write one more sentence explaining the same advantage. So what I have got over here is that social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter have made it very easy to contact and conduct a lot of activities all over the globe. So first of all, I told that it has shortened the distance between two different people sitting all around the globe, and then I'm explaining the same thing, that we can use things such as, or platforms such as Facebook and Twitter to connect with each other, right? So it's the one and the same thing, but you are writing them differently, and that is a very good way to explain your advantage. So once you have given your introductory sentence and then you have given one advantage, you have explained the same advantage in just one sentence, the last thing what you need to do is, in each and every essay, doesn't matter what the case is, you always provide an example. Why to provide an example? Whenever you provide an example, what happens over there is that you already go with around 25 to 50 words. If you provide two examples, you will easily write 50 words in the examples, right? So whenever you go into your exam, you already have 50 words with you. So it doesn't matter what the case is, make sure in each and every essay you have to provide an example. So a very easier way to provide an example is that, let's say what I have got over here is that I have got an example saying, for instance, a research conducted at Western Sydney University reveals that more than 60% of students use social media to study and connect with each other. So again, one and the same thing, but in other words, right? What I am saying, that a research that was conducted by Western Sydney University reveals or shows that more than 60% of students use social media to connect with each other. Now your example doesn't really need to be factual, it can be fictitious. You can make any example by yourself to support the argument. Whatever advantage or argument you are providing, you have to back up that argument using an example. So make sure in each and every case you have to provide an example. You have to provide an example of the same advantage that you stated in your essay earlier. So you can just say a research that was conducted by any university or any organization, and then you have to state the results of the survey or research in your favor in the argument in the same direction as you are providing your argument. Such as over here in our advantage, we said that it has made our life very convenient to connect with each other, and we also gave the same example for the same thing, that a lot of students use social media to connect with each other. Now once you are done with your introductory sentence, one advantage, explanation of the advantage, and then your example. What you can do is, if you think you have more ideas of advantage, or if you want to add one more advantage, you can do that as well. I have done the same as well. I have just written in one sentence that furthermore, social media is also used to conduct a lot of business and marketing activities in 21st century. So I provided one more advantage of social media, right? But once you provide this second advantage, you don't really need to explain this or provide an example for the same, because if you'll try to explain this, or if you'll try to provide an example for this, that will become very lengthier and your essay will go more than 300 words, right? And you won't be able to finish each and everything within 300 words and within 20 minutes, right? So one introductory sentence, one advantage, explanation, example, and second advantage. Don't worry about explaining or giving an example for the second advantage. You can use the same way, and that way what I have got over here is that I have got 107 words. This is a pretty basic essay, just a very simple essay topic, so that it becomes very clear for you guys that how you have to frame each and every essay you get. Doesn't matter what essay you get, always give one introductory sentence, one advantage or problem or solution, whatever you are explaining, right? And then explain the same argument, whatever you have provided. Give an example for the same. Example can be the same way that a research or a survey was conducted by any particular organization, and the results are in your favor, whatever argument you are providing, right? And then finally you can provide one more argument, whatever you want to say. And that way easily you will be able to write a lot in your body paragraph 1. Over here I have got 107 words, and they are more than enough for my body paragraph 1. So that will be the end of our body paragraph 1. Now we will move on to our body paragraph 2. Now once you are done with your body paragraph 1, you will come up to your body paragraph 2, right? Now let's see how you have to write your body paragraph 2. Writing your body paragraph 2 is exactly the same as writing your body paragraph 1. You will follow the same steps, you will use the same strategy and technique to write your body paragraph 2 as you have used while writing your body paragraph 1. So your body paragraph 2 will include the explanation or mention the other side of the argument, right? In the body paragraph 1, we mentioned or took the side which we were in favor of, but over here we'll explain or mention the other side of the argument. Over there we mention the merits or advantages of social media. In this body paragraph 2, we'll mention the disadvantages of social media. So let's see how we have to write our body paragraph 2. Again, your body paragraph 2 will also have around 4 to 5 sentences and will go for around 70 words. So again, similarly as body paragraph 1, first sentence will be your introductory sentence, whereby you will tell that there are a lot of disadvantages of social media. Second sentence will give one disadvantage. Third sentence will explain the same disadvantage in just one sentence. And fourth sentence will provide an example related to the disadvantages you have mentioned. So again, similarly as we used transition word when we moved on from our introduction to our body paragraph 1, now when you move from your body paragraph 1 to your body paragraph 2, you also have to use transition words over here as well. You can use any of the transition words you can see on your screen. You can just say on the contrary, or you can say on the darker side, on the other hand, or you can say however, or you can say despite. So you can use any of the transition word, but make sure you use some transition words so that you can show the link between your ideas. So now let's have a look at how I have written my body paragraph 2 for this topic, for this essay. For this essay, what I have got is I have started with on the darker side. So this is my transition word, and this will show the link between my body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. So what I have got over here is that on the darker side, social media brings along a number of harmful consequences. This is my introductory sentence, that is social media has a lot of disadvantages, right? So now for my second sentence, I'll mention one disadvantage because I'm explaining the disadvantages in my body paragraph 2. I'll mention one disadvantage. One disadvantage what I have mentioned over here is that excessive use of social media can deteriorate the human health adversely. So the disadvantage what I have got over here is that social media can impact the human health very significantly. Now I'll explain the same disadvantage, that how it impacts our human health. I'll explain the same disadvantage in another sentence. What I have got in the explanation of the same disadvantage is that addiction of social network can lead to poor eyesight and can further cause diseases such as depression to the users. So basically I have explained the same disadvantage what I provided in the first sentence. So what I have written is that addiction of social media can cause a lot of problems, a lot of diseases to the users. So first I told that social media can cause a lot of problems, and then I explained the diseases that can be caused by the problem. So first one disadvantage and then explanation of the same disadvantage. So one another thing what I have done over here is that I have replaced the word social media with social network. Now why I have done this is that because I knew that already I have written social media a lot. So in order to get good score in my vocabulary as well, I have to make sure that I try to avoid repetition of words. Wherever you can, make sure you use synonyms or replace the word with some other similar words so that you can get good scores in your vocabulary as well. So over here I am done with my introductory sentence. I have provided a disadvantage and explanation for the same. Now I'll provide the example. Example you have to provide in the same way as you did in your body paragraph 1. You have to just say for illustration. Now in body paragraph 1 I said for instance. Over here you can say for illustration. You can use any of the two words to start your example, right? So what I have got for my example over here is that for illustration, a research conducted by doctors in the United States revealed that more than 25% of users suffer health problems due to addiction of social media. So basically in each and every example over here as well, what I have got is I named an organization and a research or a survey conducted by them, and then the results I turned them in my favor. Whatever argument I was providing, I turned the results in my favor. Make sure keep this thing in your mind that your example doesn't really need to be factual. You can make any example by yourself and that will do the job for you, right? Make sure in each and every essay, doesn't matter what essay you get, always provide an example. One example in body paragraph 1 and one example in body paragraph 2. Why? Because if you provide an example in both of your paragraphs, it will make it very easy for you to go up to 220 words, 230 words, and that will make it very easier for you to write your essay in a proper manner in the given time. And now we'll move on to the final paragraph of our essay, and that will be our conclusion. So let's have a look at that, how we have to write our conclusion. So now what will your conclusion include? Your conclusion will only include 2 to 3 sentences and will be up to 30 to 50 words, right? Let's have a look at that, how you have to write your conclusion. So in the first sentence, you will just mention the overall summary of your whole essay, that is what is your actual conclusion and whatever side you are favoring in your conclusion, right? And in your second sentence, if you want, you can give any kind of prediction or suggestion. You can give any kind of suggestion or prediction you want to make relating to the given topic. So only 2 sentences, and first sentence will include overall summary, overall main idea of the whole explanation of your essay, and the second sentence will include any prediction or suggestion you want to give relating to the given topic. And make sure you don't really need to explain anything in your conclusion. Your conclusion needs to be very short, concise and to the point. Don't worry about giving any kind of explanation. Just make sure you explain each and everything to the point. Don't worry about explaining it and keep it short and simple, right? So as in other paragraphs as well, we use transition words. Over here, whenever you move from your body paragraph 2 and come up to your conclusion, you will use transition words. To begin your conclusion, you can use any of the given transition words. You can say to conclude, or in conclusion, or you can say to sum up, or at last, or you can say as a final point. You can use any of the words to start your conclusion, the last paragraph, but make sure you use a transition word so that you can show the link between your different paragraphs and your different ideas, right? So let's see what I have got for my conclusion over here is that what I have got is to conclude, that is my transition word. To conclude, even when there are a lot of demerits associated with the use of social media, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and social media has become a crucial part of our life. So basically one and the same thing. I am saying that the advantages of the social media are more than disadvantages, and it has become an important part of our life. Instead of the word important, I have used crucial so that I don't repeat words and I score good in my vocabulary as well. So over here I have stated whatever side I am taking. I told that I come up to a conclusion that the advantages are more than disadvantages, right? And for my second sentence, for my suggestion, what I have got over here is that therefore efficient use of social media should be promoted. However, its excessive use and misuse should be condemned. So again, I am giving a suggestion that its use, efficient use, should be promoted all over the world, but excessive or misuse should be condemned or stopped at any cost. So one overall summary in the first sentence, that advantages are more than disadvantages, and in my second sentence I have given a suggestion that its misuse should be stopped but efficient use should be promoted all over the world. And that will be the end of my conclusion. I have got 49 words over here, and you can write your conclusion anywhere between 30 to 50 words, and that will be more than enough, right? So now once I am done with my essay, what I have to do is I have to spend at least 1 to 2 minutes to make sure that I proofread and revise my essay to figure out if I have got any spelling and grammar errors. make sure guys, make a point of this that you proofread your essay, doesn't matter what the case is, because we are habitual to make a lot of typing and spelling errors. So at any cost you have to spend at least 1 to 2 minutes to proofread your essay, so that you can figure out any spelling or grammar errors or any typing errors, and you can rectify them and you can score a lot of points in your essay. So if I combine the introduction, my body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2 and my conclusion, this is something I'll have as my complete essay. I'll have around 4 paragraphs, and once I combine all of these, I have 298 words. They are more than enough. You don't really need to write this much. You can write anywhere between 250, 260 or 270, or even if you are very good at writing and you think that you can write very good essay within 220, 230 words, that's also fine. But make sure you always in each and every case provide an introduction, a body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2 and a very important conclusion, right? So that will be the end of our essay. Make sure you follow the same structure. Following this structure, you can easily write each and every essay within 20 minutes, and you can also proofread it, right? So basically what you have to do is you have to make 4 paragraphs. In your introduction, what you have to do is you have to write 4 sentences. First 2 sentences, general things about the topic. 1/3 sentence will be, paraphrase the prompt or the question, and in your 4th sentence, in your introduction, you will mention that what all will be covered in this essay, right? And then you will come up to your body paragraph 1. You will give an introductory sentence that whatever you are gonna describe or mention in that paragraph, then you will provide one advantage or disadvantage, then you will explain that advantage or disadvantage, then you will provide an example for the same thing, right? And then if you want, you can provide one more advantage, but you don't really need to explain or provide an example for the advantage, right? And that will be the end of your body paragraph 1. Now you will come up to your body paragraph 2. In your body paragraph 2, same as body paragraph 1, you will provide an introductory sentence, then you will provide one disadvantage, you will explain it, and you will provide an example in the same way as you did in your body paragraph 1, right? And that will be the end of your body paragraph 2. Finally, you will come up to your conclusion. Conclusion will only have 2 sentences, one overall summary and the second sentence any suggestion or prediction, right? That will go up to 30 to 50 words, and that will be more than enough. Now that was the end of the video. I hope that the explanation and the tips and techniques made it very clear for you guys that how you have to solve and approach this particular task. If you will still have any doubts, you can contact us anytime on the numbers given below on your screen, and we will be more than happy to assist you anywhere and at any time. At last, if you like the video, hit the like button, share the video and hit the subscribe button. Along with the subscribe button, please make sure that you hit the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we upload a new video or whenever we conduct a live webinar or mock exam on YouTube. Alongside, you can also like our Facebook page where we will be regularly posting a lot of material and updates related to your PT exam. The link to our Facebook page is in the description box below. And now that will be the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching this video till the very end. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Thank you very much.